This elder woman came before me, and she's in my eye, and then she's going out, and as she's going out, she turns into all of those light shards, and she's explaining to me about all the different races, all the different galactic races that came together specifically in the Lake Titicaca area as they were deciding and creating who was going to be and how they were actually creating humanity going forward.
A new person to Portal to Ascension, definitely not new to this work because she's been doing this work for quite some time and has a lot of wisdom to share. But I'm always excited when we're bringing on people that we're just now starting to work with. And today you're going to get to experience Reverend Judi Weaver. And let me just tell you a little bit about her, and we're going to get right into it. Judi Weaver is a regarded international spiritual trance channel medium and doctor of metaphysics and healing. With a rich background in spirituality, healing, shamanic practices since the 1990s, as the founder of Heart for Souls, Inc., a nonprofit organization focused on spiritual development and healing modalities, she channels wisdom and healing energies from divine sources, offering profound insights and guidance to individuals in need of clarity during transitional moments in life. Hello, Judi. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and be invited into the family. Join in the party.
I'm excited I know, right? I'm excited to have you too. You have such beautiful energy, and I'm just so blessed and honored to just like have this connection. And today we get to learn more about you. This is like almost like we're having a conversation, getting to know each other today, you know, in your deeper levels. So I'm curious. So let's start out with I always like to know, like, what is your awakening story? Were you born awake? You know, and maybe we all were.
I can look back and I can say I always had things, but I wasn't aware of it. Let's be real, you know, and I wasn't aware of a whole lot of it. I think my big awakening that I could no longer deny it was when I hit 30. Or knocking on 30. At that time, I was living in Connecticut, always been a person of faith, always following the pathway and listening. And at that time, I was living in Connecticut. My father had been diagnosed with cancer, had a very large tumor that had burst through his intestines, and they given 30 days to live. And went to bed, normal night, sat straight up in bed because I very clearly heard, you've got to go to Florida and do a healing on your father. And I looked around the room and I'm like, who said that? And I'm like, but wait a minute, God, Dad's an atheist. And I'd grown up Southern Baptist. So this was not something that was done in the Southern Baptist world. And my faith was my faith. And, you know, as a lot of light workers, you know, we deal with a lot of difficult childhoods. And I was not unique. You know, there was a lot of alcohol and abuse. And to go ahead and to call, hey, Dad, God said I need to come to Florida, do a healing on you. You know, it was huge. And it was such a push. And it was such a push for my faith. But I listened. I spent the time asking the questions and following. And after, you know, when you're looking at death, I'll tell you something, you're open to new opportunities. And so I specifically followed what I was being told to do, and the family was open to it. My dad was open to it. Very, very long story short, we all got together. We did this ceremony around him. And I'm not saying he didn't continue with medical science, because he did. However, that ceremony, it changed our family. He became a man of faith and lived another 9 years. He didn't die till my brother did. So it's not about knowing the outcome. It's about leaving yourself open to follow the pathway that you're being guided to. And then things really started unfolding. And then I was really realizing how much I was actually talking to spirit on a regular basis that I didn't really realize I was. I started, you know, going to classes and figuring it out. And then I was like dying of thirst, because that's what happens when you go through the awakening, right? You're dying of thirst. You have to know, and you have to explore. But this was really difficult for me personally, because it was so different than what I had always known or felt was my religion and my upbringing. And so I really had to challenge myself what was right. I didn't even realize I had Native American ancestry till all the trees and the rocks were talking to me, and the animals are coming up. And it's like, you know, I literally had a crow come down and land on my back. I've had turtles knock on my door. I mean, it's crazy, the animal stories that come to be. But it's like once you realize and once you recognize, then you're opening your heart to, so then your mind is able to register and access all of this information in a different capacity for you to be able to first understand and then act on, because that's what it's about, being open and having that awareness.
Yeah. So you said that spirit, you started realizing spirit had always been talking to you. So I'd love for you to differentiate, what is spirit? Are spirit extraterrestrials, and what is the connection between the spirit realm and beings from other worlds and dimensions?
There's so many different beings. And for me personally, it's not that I probably was having interactions with the galactic beings at a very young age. I remember like being 3 or 4, laying in the backyard, like looking up at the sky saying, when are you going to take me home? When are you going to take me home?
I did the same thing. But I was in my 20s. I was in my 20s.
Okay, well, I was like 3 or 4, and I was like, take me home. You forgot me,
That's so
and,
funny.
and I had the naughty pine bedroom, right? So all the eyes were always watching me. They really were. They really were. But anyway, back to the galactic world. I started trance channeling back in 2013. And when I first started trance channeling, I was really doing, the angels and the guides and, God source. But then after I went out to Mount Shasta, that's when things really changed for me galactically. So I had an incredible experience where I met a Lemurian elder. I went out just seeking, and that was in 2017. And I went out seeking, and I didn't even know what I was going to be doing, but I just went trance channeling myself all over creation. And while I was out there, I had these profound experiences, and I had an opportunity to go into the community of Telos. Now, this was psychically during the nighttime, but it didn't matter because I had found an actual physical entry as I was walking and channeling around in the lands. And so I knew that this was a way. And so they brought me in and they showed me all about Telos down there. And it was so wonderful. There were 3 different guides that were there. And one was, of course, my elder Lemurian, who really, Jamar, who takes on a lead role of educating and training series that I do. And then there were 2 others. One was a woman, and she was really talking about all the different social aspects and the children and how the community operates and functions today. And then there was another gentleman there, and his role was really about facilities. I was working in government, and I was doing a lot of grant work for municipalities. And so I had an interest in water and wastewater and roads and, how communities worked. And so he showed me all of that, how that worked in the city of Telos, which was so fantastic. But Jamar ended up taking me down to a very large Lemurian crystal, huge green crystal. And as he did so, they changed out all of my chakra center crystals. Now, I'd already had crystal surgery when I was in Brazil back in 2012, which is how my channeling began. And he was really excited to be able to work with me because I had already had some crystal hardware inserted. So I was kind of like an experiment for him. And after that, that's when my channeling changed, and I really have an opportunity to pretty much trance channel anybody that I desire to. Universal beings of light is what they call themselves to me. So that can incorporate an unlimited genre of beings. After that, then again, you're paying attention a lot more to the different starships that you're seeing or feeling or experiencing. I've gone to Peru many different times. And one time we leave at a ridiculous hour in the morning to go to Mount Shasta. To go to Machu Picchu, by the way. It's like 4:30. And so we're getting ready to get into the van, and then there goes a ship. Popping overhead. This time was really cool because I ended up going to Puno, and I was there for, over 2 weeks with 2 different groups, 10 people each group. Because I like to bring small groups of people who are ready to grow themselves on their spiritual journey. And the best way to do that is to take them to sacred lands, to take them to powerful places, which is, obviously, Machu Picchu is such a profound energy place, but we also went to Puno. So we went to the Gate of the Gods. And that is a profound energy, and it's over by Lake Titicaca. And Lake Titicaca is known as the sixth chakra center of the earth, where Mount Shasta is the seventh chakra. So that was where I had my big change that happened with them changing out all my chakra crystals. And then moving forward, we went over there to Puno and also to Lake Titicaca. And so as I was on the bus traveling over, you know, you kind of get into that little quiet place and reflective. And then the vision started coming. And it was so wonderful. This elder woman came before me, and she's in my eye, and then she's going out. And as she's going out, she turns into all of those light shards. And she's explaining to me about all the different races, all the different galactic races that came together specifically in the Lake Titicaca area as they were deciding and creating who was going to be and how they were actually creating humanity going forward, the different aspects of how they were going to be blending the starseed information. And then she was talking about how they took the same pattern and put it in so many different environmental areas so then they could go ahead and determine what kind of changes would happen to the individual based on their environmental area that they lived in. It was so cool and so profound to be able to spend time listening to these beings, participating with the energy and the frequencies of the energies that they're really trying to impart within us. And it's just to be open to. It's not that you have to change everything in your life. You have to allow yourself to have permission to recognize not everything is what I know. There's a whole lot more that I don't, that I can.
Right. And who do you know who these beings are? Like, are they from, I'm curious, like you said, beings in the lake, how does that represent? Do they have a spaceship in the lake? Is there some sort of base there? Is it a spirit?
There's several different bases. Okay. So this is what they show me. There's many different bases around the earth anyway. Okay. So the Lemurians, the city of Telos that I work with, that's in Mount Shasta, you know, they talk about how they have got, I think there's probably 6 different big communities located around the world. And some of them are under the water, and some of them are inside of mountains, and some of them are just at a different frequency vibration that we just don't have access to. It's just a matter of us. We can't see all the light spectrum, right? You know, it doesn't change that the light isn't there. It's the same with sound. Exactly. It's just beyond what our physical body has access to. It doesn't change that it doesn't exist. And so these different beings, they have, I'm not even sure what to call them. It's like big spaceship places where they all kind of come in and out. And it's so cool the way they're able to come in and out in these star bases, because it's such a diversified group of individuals or races that are coming together, and they're sharing, and they're working collaboratively. They absolutely monitor different aspects of us, and they work with the different ones that they are currently working with. So the different races have chosen to work with different starseed beings, the ones that they have placed more information within.
Yes. And you just said something, a key word here. Different races work with different starseed beings, right?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that a little more? Are you saying that maybe is it connected to our own ethnicity too? Do different starbeing beings, because maybe we have more, because in my opinion, we're half human, half different ET. You know,
I'm not going to disagree with that. We definitely are sprinkled with all kinds of different aspects, and depending on which type of starseed being that you are more affiliated with, you will be resonating with that much more so. It's the same when I'm speaking light language to people, right? Every time the light language is different, dependent upon the person. And the whole intention of the light language is to tap into their soul truth knowing, to open them into having access to crystalline DNA that is star-seeded within them, so then they can go ahead and utilize that wisdom and that information moving forward.
Yes. So I'm curious, do you have a type of way that you connect with the Galactics? Are you in constant relay communication? How does it work when you get into a trance channel and you start interacting with them?
That's a very good question, because I don't know if I'm always in connection with them. However, what I'm able to do is I just go ahead and I call them in, and I open myself and I invite them to come in. So they're hello, come on in, and there they come. So, I don't know. It's not that I'm not calling in the spaceship to the front yard. I will tell you that. Okay.
Well, okay. Have you ever been able to call in a spaceship?
It's kind of funny. I was driving. I was going to say Friday night I was driving home, and it was just interesting. It was nighttime, and I saw the shooting star, and I paid attention to it. I'm like, yeah, I feel like there's something with that. And it couldn't even have been 5 minutes later. I know I saw this spaceship shoot across the sky. Now, mind you, I was driving into Daytona Beach. This is not like, and I'm like, no, that was way too fast for any kind of a plane. But it was right over the highway. It wasn't even far away. And it was just exactly where it was at that moment in time. When I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I think, how many people said that? Oh my God, I live that. I know that. What is that? When you vibrate to the very core of you, you're like, this isn't just a movie. Oh no, this is my real life memory. This is coming back into that space of a deeper understanding. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so I'd love for you to go into trance channel if you're open to that in a moment here.
I'd love to. I
would like to know, are there specific beings and lineages of ETs that you have a deeper connection to as you've gained these memories? Or have you had maybe more soul connection to a specific type of race of beings? And why do you think that is?
Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in Jamar. So he's that elder Lemurian. And that way then you'll be able to, he'll be able to start going through some of those conversations and to provide some information. Okay.
Let's do it. Yes.
All right. Fabulous. Here we go. Jamar here. Good day to each of you. This is an auspicious time for each of you as you are on a deeper level of exploration of self, of understanding different aspects within self, the sensitivities, the strength, but more than that, the capabilities that you have within, that you have accessible to you. You are each seeded with many different kinds of star seeds from many different galactic races. And the more that you have of a particular focused area, the more tendencies that you will have working alongside of them. There are some who actually visit in a physical form, and therefore you have an opportunity to have a physical interaction with them. There are many others that cannot fit within that of a physical body and or cannot operate within that vibration and stay within a light frequency. And as they are coming in, oftentimes they do not use words at all. It is sound and tone. You are resonating within these frequencies that are then changing the structure of the DNA within your physical bodies and allowing you a different level of access and information. It is allowing for you to move through and to release densities that no longer serve you so that you can then elevate into higher frequencies of connectivity within that greater consciousness. You are all part of that whole consciousness, that one life resonance in essence. You are each feeding as well as being fed from this same great space of. As you are finding yourselves within this space of growth, you are finding yourselves. You are finding aspects of the cellular structure. You are finding aspects of emotion. You are finding aspects of creation, of manifestation, of allowing for you to grow into and to expand within, and because you have access to. I would like to go ahead and to bring in another being for you to just feel the difference of. One moment, please. Yeshanakata runto shanamalata yene sikititi anama. Ohrunto shata iseke. Loto toranta nanabata sekiti shichiniti. My name is Yashanakatai Siti. I am here to gift you with a resonance of understanding. As you breathe in this frequency, this harmony, allow the soul of you to settle into the balance and resonate. It is not all about having to be. It is allowing yourself to become. It is about allowing yourself and the cells of yourself to move through the transformative processes that are essential, and allowing for you to move into that creative layer. You are opening many different layers within the frequencies of what you have been seated within. Within each race comes a new wellness and wealth of wisdom. And as you are the only soul who can truly alchemize and create that unity as that one and only soul, it is always unique and different within each and every human. And we find it so exciting to see you and the endeavors of how you are choosing to partner alongside and to grow within, so that you truly can see and become the very ultimate being that we recognize when we look upon just the energy frequency of you. You are whole and you are loved, and you are held in the arms, supporting you through for the greatest, purest growth of you. Many blessings, dear one. Many blessings to you. Kata. Listen kata ite. Yatain hoto yanta kasata. Ite iti. Onta sekete isa. Yasana kata isi te kata yoto yono na bataya sekete inti goto koto shataranta yena hata iti. Gashana kata taite yena hata otayanta kata titi nanahata. Enjoy that frequency. Blessings. Jamar here again. I thought it would be helpful to bring in just but a couple of the various frequencies, and that is what each is. It is an alternate frequency. You are resonating alongside of that frequency and are directly impacted and affected by what is coming into the earth and what is resonating from the earth, and how you are resonating within each of those vibrations as well. You are each unique in your chemistry, and how you react is specifically based upon experiences that you've had, along with the emotional supports and or the passions and the desires of each of you, along with the curiosity that is guiding you into a greater growth for you. This is a blessed time of transformation that is taking place. I want to remind you that as within all of the solar flares that are coming and being released, this is all intertwined with all kinds of wisdom and galactic light energies that are very specifically coded and following the transportation of the solar flare so that it can then integrate into the Earth's atmosphere and have an opportunity to work with each of you. Recognize that you may be feeling times of tiredness and overwhelm. Take the time to rest. Sometimes you may find yourself feeling the need to send additional love energy out into the universe, which is always grateful to receive. You are a participant within the greater of so much more, and it is a great honor to have the opportunity to speak with you this day. I am over 25,000 years old, and I still live amongst and within the energies of Earth. You do know and recognize the difference of time is something that is utilized as a measuring tool for you to have access to. I work within the sixth to the ninth realms, and therefore the carnation is of choice of where and how I find myself. Sometimes more of a physical nature, but oftentimes just primarily staying within that light resonancy. My role has always been as a great educator. I work with my people as well as allowing my people to have a greater understanding of the human population and how we can support your growth, your expansion, and your knowledge as you are moving into greater awarenesses and a greater connection with our species as well as so many other species who have been working diligently alongside of you throughout this lifetime and many others prior. It is much easier for a human to be able to see if they are resonating at a higher frequency. Therefore, they have a greater accessibility. You would not have access to the plethora of existence that is taking place if you are in that lower vibration because you are out of the realm of recognition. You do not have the accessibility within your purview to be even able to recognize the existence of the details aspect so that it does not shock the human existence and they are more readily available for this wealth of information that is being brought before them. It is within a realm of light and energy that, yes, has a physical anchor, but it's not solely for that particular place. When I speak of the timeline of my age of 25,000 years, I have been alive since the what some would call the destruction of that had taken place. What it really was, it was a transition that has taken place, such as a similar aspect to what you are experiencing right now. Great transition and turmoil is allowing for new opportunities of understanding and growth. We have it had its own Lemuria had its own planetary existence and still has a resonance, but that is within and outside of your galactic capability of recognition. it was found, we decided to journey into the realm of Earth to be able to support this new experiment that was taking place within humanity. And therefore, we found it most advantageous to be in multiple key locations and not of a singular space, so that we could then balance our energy as necessary around the physical status of the planet and to help hold that energy and frequency throughout. There were similar to aspects of where you find yourself. There was a direct correlation with another community where we were challenging one another. We were moving much more so in a loving resonance, and we were much more trusting, where there was a different level of what they thought was in the betterment of. Within the expansiveness of having access to various weaponry, that created the demise of the ultimate communities and how they were established. It does not mean that the communities did not exist anymore. What it means is it allowed for a new way of the existence to exist within different realms, within different areas, to be able to support of a different capacity. It's not about the overall controllership. It is about being one of and recognizing that through that one of and alongside that one of, you are a part of. And it is all of you being a part of that same whole. So recognizing that it is not of a singularity, but it is of an individuality that allows for the unity to take place for all. That would have been in a different timeline from where you were. Evolution within the different races follows its own timeline. Your race has the 25,000 years. Ours is a much longer time period. And it's not that we go through the realms of forgetfulness. It's just we continue to evolve with a greater knowingness and access. And as we continue to evolve within this knowingness and access, we understand the wholeness of and being part of that wholeness and supporting that wholeness and being committed and working diligently to be able to support that wholeness and committedness. You can go back within ancestry and you can find that so many are connected to each because you are working within that same consciousness. It is just pulled out in various areas to these particularities. So, how do I want to explain this? They add on to one another and they allow themselves to utilize the benefits of each to create more and through. As for the Lemurians, our ancestry goes back millions of years. And therefore, to find the beginning of where that comes from, it's constantly evolving as there are new races that are introduced. And as we are supporting the new creation, that all of that is creating new tendencies within each of us that we have access to. The city of Telos is beautiful. you would be amazed at the incredible aspects of what it is. There is light. You realize, you think that the ground is dark and it is dark beneath. And we understand that concept, but we have a different technology so that when you have daylight above Earth, we have that same light below Earth. It's able to move through the actual earth and the rock, and it's moved within that. Our buildings, we do have buildings and structures that are created that house individuals. Some of our people choose to plant gardens, and school is highly important. Education is important. Recognizing that you're a part of more than, and being responsible for your actions and your interactions. It's different the way that we actually um, procreate. It is done so in a after you have proven your worthiness and the preparedness to be able to be of a parent. Our parents are much older than where you are, and they may have gone through many different partners until they have then found the proper one that truly is going to match that vibration. And so that when they have their children, they're of a higher frequency for the betterment of all. It is not that there's anything wrong with anyone, but you're constantly trying to elevate and to move into that higher frequency of betterment that's going to support the all alongside. Well, the disclosure is already underway, and it has been underway for a number of years. The first part is, and I think that your society is doing a beautiful job by bringing it into the fantasy. Because in order to educate the general population, it has to be something that isn't scary. And to be able to see these different races who look so different from you can be perceived as scary because it is unfamiliar. And so it has to be released in a slower format that allows for the overall to have a better understanding. Now, this is taking place, and most definitely it is happening all around you. You are finding, you are seeing, you are sharing different video clips, different photographs, different interactions, different information that is being released on a regular basis. The daily sightings are happening, and it is all about allowing you to have the small doses. I think even sometimes you call them microdosing. So the small doses to make it more palatable, so therefore you're less fearful of how you understand that you are part of a bigger picture. It is not that there's anything wrong with you. You're not the highest and the best, but you are part of, and a very important part of. And there is so much interest, and there's such a wonderful responsibility to ensure of your safety and your growth and your continued success here as humanity as a whole. We work diligently to ensure that you are safe and that you are not going to destroy your planet. So that, because destroying your planet would affect much more than just yourselves.
Yes, 100% agree with that. Jamar, thank you so much for being with us here today. Truly appreciate your presence.
Thank you so much. It has been an honor. Blessings to you.
Thank you.
So let me bring myself back 1 second. Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That was amazing, and just the way those, especially when Jamar was incredible, information was great, and when I can't even say her name because it was so long, but when the other being came through, immediately full body chills.
So it was one that recognized that was resonating with you. Awesome.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah. Listen, can I do a quick little advertisement? I'm going to be taking groups to Mount Shasta this July, and I have availability. I would love to be able to have people join me. So first of all, my book, Truth Beyond, that was pretty much co-authored by Jamar. And so went into a group, had all kinds of different channelings, and it talks all about Telos and the experiences there. Well, this July, I'm taking 2 different groups of 10 people, and I'm so excited. This is the first time that he's actually going to be leading the group. And so I've been trancing in since 2017. It's going to be so exciting. We're staying at an incredible retreat center. We're going to be doing shamanic work. We're going to be burying a despacho on top of Mount Shasta. We're going to be going to Fairy Falls. We're going to be working with all the different star beings that are there. I'm so excited, and I would love to be able to invite you to join me. So come and visit my website, judiweaver.com, and I will gift you a copy of Truth Beyond. That's what it looks like. So, because the trees talk to you out there. Thank you.
No, thank you, Judi. And so, yes, please do check out Judi's website, judiweaver.com. And Judi's going to be a part of our Angelic Conference coming up this year. She's going to be part of the Starseed Ultimate Star Beings Conference. And she's going to be on the mystery. This is the soft launch. I haven't told anybody really yet. But the Mystery School at Sea, we're doing our second cruise, guys. 10-day Greek island cruise and 1 day in Turkey. MysterySchoolAtSea.com. Judi will be part of that as well. If you love what you heard and you want to sign up for that, put Judi's name down when you sign up as a referral so we know it came in from this show here. And before we close out, Judi, we heard from Jamar, we heard from the ETs and the connection. What would you like to leave us off with? What are some, just where are we heading from here in your own opinion?
In my own opinion, I'm really excited. I will have to tell you, I know that there's a lot of change, there's a lot of transition, but you know what? You cannot create new from an old foundation. You have to allow yourself to grow into new. The other part that's so important about where we are is that people are waking up so they can hear themselves. This is not the third party telling them. This is them stepping into, listening, hearing, feeling, sensing, listening to that soul truth knowing of self to self. Learn to trust yourself. Step out, ask questions, and enjoy the journey. But be mindful of your thoughts, because your thoughts are powerful tools and they're creating the pathway for you. So really allow yourself to stay in that love and that light, and just watch what's going to come to flight.
Wow. That was like an epic poem right there. Was that a haiku? Learn to trust yourself, enjoy the journey, be aware of your thoughts. Boom.
Yeah.
That's so beautifully said. Judi, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And I'm excited for this journey that we're about to take together for who knows, forever, maybe, you know?
I know, that's my plan.
Connection. Thank you for all you are and do. And everybody, again, check out Judi, judiweaver.com. Thank you, Judi.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.